All right, this is just a quick tutorial on how to actually use the calculator to solve for x-intercepts, to solve for an x value when you have a corresponding y, or the other way around. So let's just make up an equation here, just look at it real quickly on the calculator. So I'm going to go into y equals to get here, and then I'm going to do just a quadratic. Let's do x squared minus 4. Okay. I know my x-intercept should be plus and minus 2. So I know what the answer should be, but let's go ahead and take a look. I'm going to do zoom 6 as a standard zoom, 20 by 20 screen. So I can see this here, and I can obviously see those are my x-intercepts, but let's go through the process of getting the calculator to do that for us. So to get that to show up, I'm going to do second trace. That brings me to the calc menu. Option number 2 is 0. 0 is another term for x-intercept. So for this thing, it says left bound. So I just need to move my cursor until it is to the left of the x-intercept I'm going to solve for first. So I'm going to look at the left x-intercept here first. I'll hit enter on there, and then I'll say right bound. So I'll just move my cursor until I'm to the right of that x-intercept. Doesn't matter how far, as long as you are to the right of it. Hit enter. Guess. There's only one x-intercept in between those 2 points, so I'm just going to hit enter on guess. Okay, so I get negative 2, 0. Okay, and I can do the exact same process for the other x-intercept, second trace, 0. Left bound, I'll just move it to the left, so that doesn't matter, to the left of it. Now I move it till it's on the right of it. Okay, and hit enter for guess, and I get the other one. Okay, so x-intercepts are pretty easy using that. That can be kind of annoying though, just have to press, the left bound, right bound, clicking the left and right arrows. So you could also just go ahead here and in y2, just type in y equals 0. So when I look at these graphs, the intersection of those two graphs will actually just be my x-intercepts. So that'd be an easy way to do it. So I could do second trace, intersect is option number 5. And for this thing, remember, there's only 2 equations here. So I can just do the first curve, second curve, and I just move it towards whichever x-intercept I'm looking at. So say I want the one on the left, move closer to that one, hit enter, and I get my value out. So 2 pretty easy ideas there. Looking for x-intercepts, 2 different ways to do it. Now, if you have a x value and you're trying to find the corresponding y value, you can just do that from the same menu, the calc menu. So second trace value. Okay, I have this thing here. And say I want to find out when x is 3, what's the corresponding y value? Just hit 3, hit enter. Okay. If you wanted to find another one, and let's say you want to do it at 1, you don't have to go through the same process. It's already set up in that mode. So just hit 1, hit enter, and it gives me the corresponding y value. Okay. Pretty easy when you're doing it that way. If you wanted to find an x value when you have a corresponding y value, slightly different way to do it, but the way that I go about doing that is I just go into y equals and say I want to know when y is 3, what's the corresponding x value. So I'm just going to type in 3 for my other one. And when I look at the graphs of these two things, the intersections, those things are going to have the coordinates that I'm looking for. Okay. So for this thing, I would just go ahead and do second trace, and then for this thing, intersect. So let's say I want to look at the one on the right. There's only 2 equations here, so I can just hit first curve, second curve, and I'll move it towards the intersection on the right there, hit enter, and I get my corresponding y value. Okay, so that's pretty straightforward. So this should get you through all the stuff that you need for the worksheet for Monday's class, and we'll go ahead and talk about it once we have class next time around. Okay, I hope this helped.